Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to Outdoor and Door Texan. Today I'm going to be showing you all how to grill lobster tails. Now, lobster tails and other shellfish can be an intimidating new world for some folks who are used to searing steaks and smoking brisket. But this recipe is silly easy and it's a big crowd pleaser. So head on down to the store or the docks and grab some tails and let's get to cooking. Today I'm working with 4 raw lobster tails. This recipe does not require a whole live lobster, which is a whole different party to tackle. Instead, just grab some already separated tails, which are also usually a cheaper option anyhow. Our local grocery store is selling tails around $8 each, but your geographic location and the current market will of course dictate cost. As far as serving size goes, I would plan 1 tail per person. First step in prep will be opening up the tails with kitchen shears. Take your shears and snip along the center of that top shell all the way along until you hit that last plate of armor that makes up the tail end. After that initial cut, peel away the first ring of shell at the opening. Now take the tail in your hand and work that top split open a bit more, exposing the meat. Then gently work your fingers into the shell, breaking the meat free from the exoskeleton. You want to make sure and get every side of the meat free except for the very way back that's still connected to the tail end. Once the meat's been separated from the shell, simply pop the meat out of the top and sit it over the exoskeleton. This achieves 2 things. 1, it's great presentation, and 2, the shell will act as a heat barrier while on the grill, preventing it from burning or curling up from excessive scorching. Now just repeat the process for the rest of your tails, and you'll be a pro by the time you're done. If this is your first time doing this, the first one is always the worst, and they get better from there. Once all your tails are split and set, take some olive oil and brush an even coating over the meat. This will help act as a barrier from any flare-ups your grill may have. Now let's build the basting sauce. Start out by filling a bowl with half a stick of melted butter. Add the juice of 1 lemon, and then take a cheese grater and add the zest from that same lemon, being careful not to get down to that white, bitter portion. Finally, add 4 cloves of minced garlic and mix everything well. And with that, our tails are split and the sauce is ready, so let's head out to the grill. I'm using my big green egg, but all you really need is any smoker or grill that has some nice hot coals so you can lay the tails directly over. I'm keeping my temp right at the 350 mark, which is a pretty common grilling temp, but if you need it to be slightly lower or even a tad higher, you'll be fine either way. Just try your best to avoid having any open flames and make sure to pay close attention to the visual cues of a finished lobster tail. Overcooking them will lead to a rubbery, not fun dinner. Lay your tails shell down and immediately start basting the meat. Continue to do so every minute or 2 while they cook. Be very careful while you're basting. Try to avoid dropping too much butter on the coals, that would cause a flare-up. I'm actually cooking these tails last after grilling a few other sides so that the coals are well burned down by this point, meaning they're less likely to get all fiery. Cook times vary depending on your temp and how big your tails are, but the rough target is really only 5 minutes. Lobster tails are done once the tails and shell turn red, the inner meat turns white and opaque, and if you give the meat a test poke, it should be firm to the touch. Once your tails have all those signs, simply take them off the grill and head back to the kitchen for plating. off the grill, on the plate, and looking so good. You're pretty much done and ready to serve at this point, but this is also your opportunity to add any finishing seasonings you'd like. I typically throw a dash of finishing salt and pepper over the tails, and then drip the last of our basting sauce for a final buttery kick. Also, if you want to get even more chefy, mince up some parsley and sprinkle it over the meat for a nice pop of color on that field of white. It's the little things. And just like that, lobster dinner is ready to serve. I look back over my footage, and it took me almost exactly 30 minutes from cutting the tails to putting them on their final plate. Lobster is a bougie, decadent, and delicious dish that secretly takes very little effort. So hang on to this one next time you want to impress your dinner guests, but don't have 12 hours to smoke a brisket. As always, thank y'all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you end up trying this recipe and how it turned out for you. I'm always up for questions, talking recipes, and helping others on their journey of discovering new food. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe to the channel for more great content to come. All right, y'all. Take care.